Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I wanted to show you this really cute little golden book junk journal that I made. This is for back to school, and it's using the We Like Kindergarten little golden book. I did two signatures on here. On this one I added buttons on the side. A couple of them are some vintage ones, like this one is, I think it says Rough Rider jeans. And then that one was a vintage button. The other ones are kind of random that I had in my stash. But I did add a tassel here with a really fun charm dangle that I used some wood beads and these ABC beads on that you can remove with a lobster clasp. And then I made the tassel out of some fun vintage fabrics and school ribbons, like the crayon ribbon, this school ribbon here, and then the apple ribbon. And then I had this fun pom-pom trim and a vintage thick yarn here that's really cool. And I tied it up with just some ribbon on the outside. It's removable, so it's just wrapped around the whole entire thing. And I used this little golden book. I can't remember the year on this one. I'm not sure. It's probably an 80s one. I don't remember, but definitely vintage. I added some rickrack and the crayon ribbon on the front. The back is this vintage floral fabric with more of that ribbon there. And then I also added a couple apple punched scrapbook paper pieces and two little cute crayon buttons down there. On the inside, I made a library card pocket, and then I altered a library card here with some scrapbook paper. I used a scrapbook collection, paper collection from, oh, just a sec. It is School Time. It's by Die Cuts with a View, and I picked that up at Joann's. So really fun paper pad. Alrighty, so then on this side, oh, I also had other prints that I picked up at Hobby Lobby that were just single sheets. So like this one here. And then I may have used some papers that I had in my stash of scrapbook supplies. So just a collection, but mostly that Die Cuts with a View collection. On the inside here, I added some thick trim. This was some that I found at Meijer's, and I just loved it because it had all the different colors of a crayon box. In this pocket, I added a flash card and a little cut apart. This was from some vintage scrapbooking supplies that I had in my stash. And that is pretty sad to say that my new scrapbook supplies that I bought way back in the day when I was scrapbooking are now vintage. So that's, yeah, okay. So then I added rickrack and some ribbon on the side there. I just sewed it into a ruffle. On this page there's a pocket, and then I altered a vintage bingo card. Here's the front cover, or the inside cover of the book. I used all the book pages in here and kept them in order. Added this little cut apart on the page. This is some teacher border and nameplate, and I just cut them down. Well, they came in little, I'm not sure how long they were, 9-inch pieces, and I just folded it in half and I sewed them together there to make a little page. And then I stamped a school bus on that side. This is some vintage grid paper, and I added some washi tape. On this side, this is another one of my vintage scrapbooking pieces. It's a paper frame, and I just put some glue along the bottom so you could stick anything like a picture or whatever in there and then glue it down, but I wanted to leave it so that you could access it. Here is a vintage book page. I made it into a pocket, and then there's just this vintage little note card, like one of those note card boxes, but it's the alphabetical little index part. And then on the other side is another book page. The inside book, like the other sides to these book pages, weren't school related, so that's why I sewed them together and made that pocket. Here is some writing paper with a school friends stamp at the top with some rickrack. Over here is the little globe. This is also another die cut that I had in my scrapbooking stash. Here's another one of the pages of the actual book. Really cute little book. This is some vintage stationery paper that had apples on it. And then this is some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby in their single sheets. And then in here is a vintage flashcard, and I just added some buttons, like they're little cut apart buttons from a scrapbook kit, and some ribbon at the top. And then I added some fun eyelet lace on the side. Oh, I'm way over. I'm sorry. I keep moving over. I wish the camera in my phone was in the middle of my phone and not on the end, because I always get it. I always want to be like directly under my phone, but then it ends up being way over to the left. So I apologize for that. So I just need to remember to keep it over. All right. So here's some more writing paper. This is a vintage playing card, and I altered 3 paper clips in here. This one has the apple ribbon. And on this side is another little journaling cut apart. This is some 2 pieces of workbook paper, vintage workbook paper, and I just made a pocket. And then this is just, when I was cutting apart my pages, this was the leftover and I just didn't want to get rid of it, so that goes in there. And then here's another vintage workbook page. I added a vintage milk cap on the side. Here's some more writing paper with a little pencil cut apart. And then I stamped a backpack over there. Here is another workbook page. And then I sewed on a doily on the side of this paper and just added this workbook page in here. It's really fun. And then on this side is another book page, little part. More workbook pages here, and here's the other side to that one. And I added another index filing card divider page there with the B, or divider card. More writing paper, and then another page of the book. And then here's the other side with that scrapbook paper. It's a pocket, and then I added a little yellow polka dot page or lunch sack in there with a little pencil cut apart there, or it was a die cut. That was from Hobby Lobby, a little set of nameplate in the teaching supply area. I added a ticket on the side there. Here's some more writing paper, and I sewed some rickrack on the side, and then another paper clip up there with this protractor journaling card. And on the other side, I have this puzzle piece that has the circle on it, but this was like a learning puzzle box. So it just had some fun little images for like little, yeah. Whenever I describe this, it's kind of hard to describe. Just basically learning puzzles that just click together and they have to match. Anyway, here's another vintage book page. This side of the page is a teacher. The other side did not have anything to do with school, so I sewed it onto another one of these stationery pages. I just love that image. It's so cute. And this side is a little pocket in there. This folds open. I used a popcorn box for a pocket and then just altered this with a bus and 2 pencils. I stamped those on and added some ribbon up there. And then I covered up the popcorn sign with this little die cut that is a chalkboard. The next page is a die cut frame that was from my stash, and then I just stamped school days on a note card there, made that a little pocket. You could add a picture in there, whatever you want. Here's the other side of the borders, and I just added some scrap of my paper here to make a little pocket, and then this tag says first day of school with a little ruler stamped across there. Here's another book page with some pom-pom trim. Here is a little corner tuck spot, and I have this die cut here of another chalkboard. And then on this side is another pocket, and then I stuck in a note card and a flash card. And here's a belly band, and this has a little attendance certificate there. Really cute. And then I sewed some fabric on the side for a ruffle. And then on this side is another pocket with an altered vintage bingo card. I had this also in my vintage scrapbook collection. I say vintage because I don't want it to be vintage, but it is. Okay, on this page I have a milk cap, and then over here is another little, it's a book die cut, and then I stuck in this little playing card. Here's another one of those attendance certificates. I just made it into a page. This is a fun 70s workbook page. Just love the colors on this book. Another writing book page, or writing paper, with this really cute playing card of a little girl, and then on this side is the little boy. Super cute. More of the grid paper with some rickrack, and then I used the border to make a belly band and just stuck in the scrap of the apple paper. Here is a vintage book page, a really cute one on Learning Edition. And then on this side says keep practicing till you get them all right every time. So that was kind of a cool little book. Here is another belly band, and I found these really cute stickers in my stash. I think they're like a Carson DeLosa. I think they were from like a teaching supply or something. I just thought they were cute. I had a bunch of it. Over here's another belly band with a nameplate, and then I stuck in a note card and one of the pencil nameplates there. Here's a vintage workbook page. I sewed another doily here and then added this little die cut apple on top of some books. Here's another workbook page, and then here is a flashcard, and then on this side is a little journaling card with an apple. Here's the other side of the book page, or the workbook page. Over here I used this cut apart. This is from the scrapbook collection, the actual pad of paper that I showed you not vintage. And then here is a little school bell journaling card. And then some pom-pom trim on the side here. And then here's just another tuck. I put another note card in there. And then here is another one of the vintage book pages. More of the little golden book. More writing paper. And then another one of the 1970s orca page. This is the other side of that certificate. And then more writing paper, another book page. And then in this pocket I have a tag, and I stamped school days and a little backpack there. And then here are some vintage tickets there. And then there is a belly band on this side with another flash card. In the back I have the same library card pocket with the altered library card and another one of those puzzle pieces. It says yellow. And that is the end of the book. There's the back again. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I only made one of these because I only had one of the books. I'm hoping to be able to find more of these as I go down the road. I think this is the only one I've ever found. But I know there are other school little golden books, but this one's just adorable. I love it. There is one with the same picture that has a black background that I've seen, but I really love this one because it's brighter and you can use the brighter colors with it. So if you're interested in this, I'll have this listed in my Etsy shop. The link will be down below. And I didn't do any kind of process video on this. I was just trying to get it done for back to school season. I did make some Crayola box journals, and unfortunately, but fortunately for me, they've all sold. I made 4 of them. But if you want to check out how I made those and what they look like for inspiration, I'll have that video linked down below, but it's the video previous to this one, so it should be easy to find on my channel. So yeah, hopefully this gives you inspiration. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again later. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.